Everyone, Mike Brown here. Welcome back to Educator.com's Adobe Photoshop CS6 course. In the last lesson I showed you the basics of using type, setting up linear type, paragraphs, how to pick your font size and adjust your type and so on and so forth in a pretty traditional fashion. So let's play in this lesson. I'm going to show you a couple of cool ways to manipulate type. We're going to talk about how to warp type, create clipping paths, and I'm going to play with some type effects just to show you some things we can do that are fun with type. So let's get started. Here's a photograph I took of a place called Badwater in Death Valley. By the way, this is the lowest point on the continental United States. It's 280 feet below sea level. I've created a type layer just in advance. This is simply Myriad Pro and bold italic. We're going to, let's do bold italic. Come on, bold italic. Thank you. And we're going to enhance that slightly. So now we have our type. The first thing I want to show you is how we can manipulate type. We went across the options bar last time. We talked about everything in the character panel, which is duplicated, of course, across here, with the exception of warping type. And here is a way to warp text. Now, in this case, with all of these options, you are actually warping the vector type. I'm going to show you another way to manipulate type, but we have to decide exactly which font size and everything we want, because we're going to have to shift it from vector to a regular raster pixeled image. But right now, let's take a look at the styles available to us to warp type in Photoshop under the type layer. So here we have several styles. You can arch, move that down a little bit, move the whole layer down, and you have your three sliders for bend, horizontal, or vertical distortion. In this case, we can bring the arch down. We can horizontally distort it. Notice how one end goes down and the other end comes up. We can also distort vertically by pushing it kind of in a 3D fashion like it's going away from us. And bring that bend down a little bit. Play with that. You have arches where this is an actual arch. Run this back to 0 so you can see the difference. And we have all sorts of options. There's a flag wave. Let's see what this fisheye does. Oh yeah, it's just like a fisheye lens. See that? Yep. And squeeze, squishes it together. All of these options are available to play with. We'll just cancel out of there for the moment. So you have those, which means you can apply any one of those to the text layer and it will remain vector, and then you can do everything else you want with it. In this